is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is brand new stuff from a band called Ambush. The name of the album is Infidel. The name of that song is Leave Them to Die. And on the line right now is a guy that I hope is not leaving me to die, but is going to leave me to live and enjoy some more Ambush music. It is the vocalist. It is Mr. Oskar Jacobsson. Oskar, how are you, man?
Cheers, Chris. I'm having a good time here.
Absolutely.
Drinking beer and enjoying the free the free times.
Exactly. Well, you know what? That's pretty much what we have to do these days, isn't it? Listen to metal and drink beer.
Sure. We live to die another day, just like James Bond.
That's right, man. Well, Oskar, as I was telling you right before we started, man, we have a fan that has been busting me forever to interview you guys, and you guys' name never really crossed my desk until recently, but I'm glad it did, because Infidel is a great record, man. And it forced me to kind of go backwards and listen to the other releases as well. And man, you guys are onto something fantastic, man. You guys are doing that great. It's like a great hybrid of the classic metal sound with just a touch of the modern influence, not to make it sound modern, but more to enhance what you're doing. It's so good, man.
Cheers, man. I appreciate it.
Sure.
It's been a lot of fun to record this album. Took a while, but we're happy with the final results and all the nice words.
Sure. Are you, when you were writing the record, when you were putting it together, did you realize that you were onto something that was going to separate itself from the last record, or did you feel like it was just kind of a continuation on?
Yeah, we're a band. We're pretty conservative in what we do, I think. We had no intention to change direction musically or anything, but I think we've matured during these 5 years. We've been continuously playing gigs and stuff like that, and we've been trying to find a more mature way to deal with music, and I think we're on the right track with this album.
Sure. Well, and it's the one thing that really jumps out when you listen to it, and it's a lot of bands have trouble doing it, but you guys were seemingly able to capture what feels like a very live sounding record. A lot of bands can do a lot in the studio and make it sound good, but a lot of them, and I mean, this, man, you listen to music as well. When you listen to something, a lot of times the first thought you have is, man, I wonder how that'll sound live. I don't get that thought at all with you guys. You guys, different style of music, but very much I get that same feeling from like a band like Airborne, where you just know that you hear that song and it's going to sound pretty fucking good when you hear it live as well.
Yeah, you gotta deliver some energy in a record. Otherwise it makes no point. I mean, we're a live band, most and foremost a live band. So we want to make the record as a live show. We want to make it dynamic, get the most out of every song on the record, and leave nothing to like the odds on like going crazy with some weird shit. Or we're trying to make it compact, just like a live show.
Sure. Do you, when you're putting music together, do you guys kind of try to avoid, going crazy within the studio, or in the control room than anything else, to keep that fresh live feel to the music?
Sure. I mean, it's always, one of the biggest mistakes good musicians do is that they overplay all the time. They are trying to play as fast as possible, or the drummers try to, we're gonna have a fast fill everywhere.
Right.
And drum beat is going to be like this, and we're trying to take this down. I mean, down to earth, if you know what I mean. And like Yngwie said, more is more, but I think he's a bit wrong, at least when it comes to us human beings. He's a god, so he can do what he wants, but as human beings, we've gotta handle all the tension that comes into, and the egoistic parts as well, where every musician wants to show off. We're trying to keep it simple as a band, and to I raise the bassist and he raises me, and together we're working together as a group.
Sure. Now, for you guys, when you started recording, or when you recorded this record, how do you think that Infidel changed from the last record, Desecrator? I mean, does it feel different to you, or does it feel like one continuous release?
Yeah, difficult question, because I definitely feel that there is something different with Infidel in terms of the song structures, and the themes are maybe a bit darker on this album, but yet it's even more melodic, I would say. It has more wide ranges of feelings to it, I think. It has more melancholy, what do you call it, melancholic like orchestrations, and a little bit more happy orchestrations as well, like the songs Hellbiter and Heart of Stone, for example, are very positive energy.
Right.
So wide range of emotions is the biggest difference, I think.
Sure. Now, from what I read, you guys you recorded your vocals at home, and then recorded the other parts kind of in makeshift studios, or wherever you were at. You just kind of brought out some gear and recorded, vocals and whatnot.
I recorded the vocals here, actually, in my studio here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it difficult to not so much the recording at home, but the recording, in other places where you pulled out gear to record, like backing vocals and stuff like that? Was it difficult to kind of mix and mesh everything together?
No, it was quite fun, actually. We have quite a big friendship zone that is very connected to the band, in that sense that they have been with us from the beginning. So we decided to do like that. Let's arrange a party, and I bring some studio gear, and whoever feels like drunk enough, they can step up to the microphone and have a fun time, and then it's up to us, of course, to cherry pick the good parts. And so no, it was not difficult at all. I mean, vocals are difficult to record, obviously, but backing vocals in that sense should be, in my opinion, very rough, and they should not be very overproduced in any way. So I think it turned out good.
So what you're saying then is all your backing vocals are powered by Budweiser.
Sure. Maybe not Budweiser, maybe a bit stronger drink.
Very nice, man.
But
well,
Budweiser.
The other thing that I did see is that it seemed like from what the publicist is putting out there, like you had a lot of music to choose from with Infidel. Like you had a lot of songs that were written. How did you make the decision on what songs to use and which ones to either file away or maybe use later, or use at a time?
That's very difficult. I think every riff that Olaf has written since 2015, when we released Desecrated, has been great. So it's only a matter of, okay, which song will fit in on the album and create a greater purpose on the album. So we decided to leave some songs behind, obviously, but I don't really have a clear explanation to why we picked these songs. These songs felt relevant in a 10-song sequence. Mm-hmm. So and it's basically because they lift up each other and creates a great dynamic feeling throughout the album, I think, at least.
Sure.
Yeah.
do you hold on to the other ones and release them later, or are you like a typical musician that once they're done, they're kind of done and you move on?
Yeah, we basically move on, but we still have the songs in our pocket, you know, and we can do whatever we want with them. That's the greatest part. Actually, we wrote Infidel, the title track, before we even released Desecrator. So
Okay.
that song has been with us for quite some time now, but we've changed it over and over and over. And it takes time for some riffs or some songs to be arranged in accordance with what we want to do.
Sure. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was the album art, which is about as metal as it gets. I mean, that's tattoo worthy there, man. It's so harsh and metal, man. Who did that art, and how did you guys decide on it?
Yeah, we went down to the deep, dark, ancient halls of hell to find a German named Alexander von Wieding. He's been with us since Firestorm, so we actually he's collaborating. He's like having a cooperation with High Roll Records, and when we released Firestorm, he was recommended by our label manager.
Okay.
Because we wanted a painted art, and he is very talented. So he's been with us and creating ideas, and this was a perfect idea, I think.
Sure.
To play around with the title track in that way, and maybe it's very controversial when it comes to releasing this in the mainstream, but yeah, who cares? It's a great art, and it's relevant. Actually, people say that Christian symbols and stuff aren't relevant, but it's Easter now, so it's very relevant.
Sure. Have you guys, in the past and probably again in the future, I would imagine, but have you had people come up to you at shows with the ambush art tattooed on them?
Yeah, actually, I saw one ambush tattoo before.
Okay.
But right now, I think I've seen 2 ambush tattoos.
Okay.
But I have no idea why you would do that. Maybe we'll release a 90s pop album or something, and then they will have to make a laser surgery or something.
Nice. That's funny, man. Well, obviously we're all at home right now because of this whole coronavirus thing. And, I've been talking to a lot of bands and I get a lot of different answers on this. I'm curious for you, a band like Ambush, which is a smaller band that's gaining exposure. Is this good for you because people are home and are hungry for new music? Or is this bad for you because people are on Spotify only listening to the old Metallica records and Scorpions and whatnot, and not actually venturing and finding new music?
I don't know, but I think it's very bad because we want to get on tour, and
Right.
we want to show our new stuff. We think we're onto something here, and we have a great lineup. So the tour, the cancellation and postponement of the tours are very bad for a band in our position, I think. But we're not. I mean, you cannot do anything about it. You can just come back stronger than before and rehearse a lot more. Maybe we have time to create some new songs now for another record. You can do everything, so there are no complaints from our side at all. But sure, the economic part is very, very hard when you can't get on tour and you've made an investment in merch and stuff. We depend on the people to buy our shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, can they still buy it online? Can they go to your website or the record site and stuff?
Yeah, we have a big cartel site.
Okay.
So you'll find it through our Facebook page or whatever.
All right. And what is the Facebook page so that people know where to look?
You can search for Ambush Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent, man.
And buy everything
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy 2 of everything, right?
Yeah. Save one for your mother.
Yeah, there you go. Because moms love Infidel.
Sure, they do. At least my mother, she told me she actually liked this record as opposed to the other 2 records.
She wasn't a fan of the other 2.
She's not a heavy metal fan, you know, but she's my mother and I'm her son, so she better fucking like it.
Nice. All right, man. Well, the name of the album is Infidel. The band is Ambush. And Oskar, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing song from the album and maybe tell us a story about it. So what would you like us to wrap this interview up with?
Yeah, I would like to wrap this interview up with Iron Helm of War. It's a song we've written. It's about actually a poem by William Blake from the beginning, which is a call to war for Englishmen. So he played around with religious themes and made jokes about God and stuff in this poem. And we thought it would work perfectly as an Ambush lyric. So enjoy.
All right. Well, let's check it out right now. It's brand new music from Ambush right here on your Classic Metal Show.